You know my name. You might even know my face. So I'll only say this once. Watch and subscribe to Eric's channel, or the Knife of Dunwall just might visit you next.
Hi, thought I'd do another one of these kind of bonus lore videos. In the last one, I talked about Slackjaw and Granny Rags, and I read from some extra material that was included in some pre-order bonus packs that you could get. And there are actually two more. One of them is called the Acrobatic Killer Pack for the Nimble Assassin. It's got some power-ups that can help you with agility, and it includes an in-game book, Rumors and Sightings, Daud. The other one is called the Shadow Rat Pack for the Elusive Assassin, and this gives you some power-ups to remain unseen. And this includes the book Field Survey Notes, The Royal Spy. So, and I believe these are both also included in the Voidwalker arsenal that typically comes with the game anytime you buy it these days. But I'm just going to go ahead and read both of those books for you right now. The first one is Rumors and Sightings, Daud. Excerpt from an Overseer's Covert Field Report. For over a year now, I have lived away from the Abbey, without the company of my overseer brethren or the guidance of the blind sisters of the oracular order. Days have passed with me sleeping in the dens of cut-purses, murderers, and worse, and the nights have seen me prowling through the worst alleys and the wretched corners of Dunwall. I have taken my meals with killers. At times I have ventured beyond the city walls, meeting in forgotten graveyards and the outlying ruins frequented by those of ill means. My beard has grown long, and I wear the weathered clothing and bits of boiled leather favored by the Bottle Street and Hatter gangs, and by those rough men and women who make their trade knifing others in return for coin. My hands have run red with blood, it's true, but I have selected my targets with care, choosing among those criminals and heretics who are not fit to live, executing them justly, and using their deaths as a means of building my reputation. So far, this trick has allowed me to make my name among my murderous colleagues without taking the lives of the innocent. My goal is singular. I must impress the assassin named Daud in order to get close to him. Of all the practitioners of black magic we have tracked, none concern the Abbey as much as Daud. It is said that his mother was a witch from one of the archipelagos off the Pendician coast, taken captive by pirates venturing far from the Isles. According to the legend, by the time the ship returned, the captain was dead, and the witch controlled the crew, with Daud still a shadow in her belly. The earliest stories tell of a gang killer without mercy, moving among the shopkeepers and city watch officers of Dunwall like a reaper through wheat. Then a period of silence followed. Years we now believe he spent traveling the Isles, studying anatomy and the occult in the great halls of learning and in hidden basements frequented by fellow dabblers in the forbidden arts. Daud is even purported to have spent a winter in the Academy of Natural Philosophy itself. And for a time, before a schism developed, he counted the Brigmore witches among his allies. All the while he honed his craft, and it is during this time that we believe he began to consort with the outsider. New reports emerged of a dusky-skinned assassin, paid by the elite to eliminate their rivals in Dunwall and in the other major cities across the Isles. Those who saw him and lived numbered in the handful, but all of them reported something strange. He appeared and vanished like smoke. From a nearby rooftop he gestured, and a noblewoman stumbled from her balcony, falling to her doom on the cobblestones below. Most recently, as this new threat of plague has arisen in Dunwall, Daud has been seen leading a gang of men in dark leather, dressed as factory whalers in their vapor masks. They seemed loyal beyond comprehension for one so unworthy, leading me to wonder if some of his magic is dedicated to lulling their minds, enslaving them. Only a month ago, one young girl claims to have come upon a strange scene. Carrying a bottle of milk home to her crippled brother, she was taking a shortcut through the tailor's district. In a narrow street, she passed beneath a window and heard unusual sounds from within. Pushing aside the ratty curtain, The girl saw into an abandoned apartment, used by miscreants for gambling and trading haberweed. An occult shrine had been erected against the far wall, which she recognized from the teachings given her by the local overseer. A man she described as resembling Daud was kneeling before the shrine, muttering to an unseen spirit as if in argument. He took a carving, made of pale bone, from the altar before him, and the lights all went out in a gush of unclean wind. Quiet as a field mouse, she slipped away, running until she reached her home. There can be no doubt. Daud is an agent of the outsider and must die, for there is no limit to the evil this man might do. This is my solemn oath, and the great purpose of my life. Until Daud is dead and his corruption has been purged from the world, I will continue to move among the depraved, winding my way toward him. I will not drop my guise or don my overseer's mask again until Daud breathes no more. Okay, so that's a little tidbit of an overseer's quest to take down Daud. We can probably guess how well that turned out. The other one is Field Survey Notes, The Royal Spy. And so this is an excerpt from the personal memoirs of Hiram Burrows, dated several years earlier. I'll try and do my Lord Regent voice here.
This is the 4th day, month of high cold. Progress continues on the suppression of gang activity in the distillery district, but more slowly than I'd expected. The ruffians operating there have been cunning, I'll grant them that, but it's only a matter of time. I'll see their leaders flogged in public and sent beneath the royal executioner's blade. If I had my way, that mute bastard would be working night and day, removing the heads that need removing. Internally, the Empress does not seem pleased with my investigations. It seems that it is beyond her thinking, against her very nature as a trusting person, to believe that traitors move among us. But I know they do. They must. No, Jessamine would rather spend her time with the royal protector. At least he's likely to stop any immediate threat to her safety, but a strong arm is not what's needed against those who would undermine us all. How will Corvo's sword stop a poisoned wine glass, or an explosive delivered by courier? It will not. There are many threats around us, threats requiring meticulous efforts to police. Young Lady Emily is undisciplined, I'm afraid. Here within Dunwall Tower she receives instruction from the finest tutors known in the Isles. Yet her mother spoils her, and she spends most of her time lost in imagination, wasting her time drawing or asking Corvo to teach her to fight with wooden sticks. The girl might rule the Empire some day. Every moment spent at play is a moment wasted. Shoring up security for the main gate leading into Dunwall Tower has been another pet project of late. To think that back in his day Emperor Caldwin left it open to the public during the day, allowing anyone to come and go as they pleased. If it were up to me, I'd seal off access to the streets entirely, but the Empress won't hear of it. The waterlock is much easier to protect, and if it were the only way into the tower, traffic in and out would be greatly reduced. Some day the wrong person is going to slip in and we'll suffer for it, mark my words. No amount of security is excessive when it comes to protecting heads of state. The Empress also disapproves of my plans for the Sokolov devices. Sokolov himself has no interest in security, of course, but he's vain and therefore keen to see his inventions deployed in any fashion. This wall of light he's been tinkering with has promise. In any case, at least I was able to convince the Empress to upgrade the pistols carried by the officers of the watch. Why do I worry so, when no one else seems to care? If I ever fall asleep, will it all sink into the ocean? Will the rough things clamber over the walls and fill themselves on our flesh? This is what I see in the same dream several times each month. If only I had more say in things, more authority, I could protect us all. Perhaps I have been working too hard. Dinner and an evening of conversation with a certain lady of refinement might be in order. Perhaps somewhere nice in the estate district. Hiram Burrows, Royal Spy Master.